Hello, this is Unsaint21 giving you another patch rundown, and this time we will be talking about the 5.2 patch this coming February. And what I like about this patch is the downfall of the assassins. Basically, the Deathfire Grasp will be saying its last few remaining hours or days, depending on what region you are, and by the time this video has been launched, so anyway, so we'll be talking about that later, and let's talk about just to give you a general scope. Once again, we'll be talking about nerfs, buffs, bug fixes, and updates regarding champions, skins, and item nerfs and item buffs, as well as gameplay changes. And let's go ahead and start with the gameplay change. So one of the biggest change will happen in League of Legends is that the Deathfire Grasp and its counterpart for the other maps will disappear. Basically, the reason why it's disappeared because it's used more on AD carries and soft champions that can be easily bursted instead of killing a tank. Basically, that you get the gist there. If you have a Deathfire Grass and you have full 6 items on a LeBlanc, an Ari, you can almost one-shot any AD carries that you can see on the spot. Unless you have a Kale, but not all games can be played with a Kale now, can it? And also, there's tons of mages that actually use that fire grass, and it's a very it's very hard to counter. Would you like to use your QSS onto a that fire grass and just risk having get stunned by another champion, or there's a lot of things that really can happen. But with the Deathfire Grasp going away, certainly there are a lot of compensations to champions that depend on the Deathfire Grasp. So let's go ahead and talk about them. But before that, let's where we changes on another gameplay change, overlapping crowd control effects. This is all about the crowd control. Basically, if you notice that if you have a champion that is, let's say a very good example is Yasuo's ultimate, which is Last Whisper, and after that after the ultimate's animation, you can basically spam your Zonias and you will not get hit, basically dodging the damage right through and through. So you can sometimes you can even flash after the hold or the instant that it's available. So they are trying to fix that. So there you go. And also attack move on stealth champions like who are the stealth champions that does this. I believe the only champion that I believe that can that will have a gameplay changes on this is Twitch. But in some cases it's still a gameplay change. So attack move while you're invisible, you will automatically auto attack a certain the nearest target if you attack move. So you better be careful if you turn your right click into a attack move thingamabob. So there you go. So the next thing that we need to talk about now is the champion that will be having the latest skin update, which took them a long time, is Tristana. Tristana will be changed into a Yordle, not a little kid anymore. So before she was classified as a Yordle, but now she's certified Yordle. She has a more mature voice. Her skin is excellent. She feels good, and anything else other than that, she's absolutely perfect, and it describes her character all in all. But with that being said, there is a lot of gameplay change and a lot of nerfs. So attack speed growth has decreased from 2.5 to 1.5. Base armor has decreased by 2. Its base health has been decreased by 10, and a lot of things as well. And passive, the draw a bead, like the passive that increases your stunner's range up to until you are gonna be outranging, let's say the Caitlyn. You will have that a bit longer because it's going to be 2 ranges down. than before. Before it was 9, now it's 7. Rapid Fire is still the same. Rocket Jump is still AP based and has a new mechanic which increases its damage depending on the explosive charge stat on the target. So let's go ahead and talk about the explosive charge. Explosive charge is the is like the passive of Tristana that detonates a targeted minion on auto attack if it last hits. But with this, you can basically hit a charge onto a target, keep striking it on the target until it explodes. So if after 4 stacks, basically the target will explode, or if you go with a rocket jump, it will detonate the explosive charge and deal more damage as an AP. And it is still AP, by the way, but explosive charge has an AD ratio, so there's going to be a bit of benefit on having an AD Tristana, uh, and this explosive charge is going to be a new gameplay mechanic. It's also a good way for you to be able to push a. This is also usable on on towers, so this is going to be good. And also, Buster Shot is slightly weakened. It was the ability ratio was 1.4. Now it's 1.0 on the Buster Shot. So still, the DFG hurts the AP Tristana, but it doesn't matter. Literally, Tristana is mostly played as an AD carry. So that's also fine. So let's go ahead and talk on the first another champion that gets hit with the DFG change. Aside from Tristana's AP, the AP Tristana, not the AD Tristana. Aside from the AP Tristana, Ari gets some changes. So Orb Deception, instead of, you can still have, there's no increase on damage, but it will give her tons of movement speed once Orb of Deception is cast. Foxfire doesn't cancel auto attacks anymore. Basically, and it decreased the damage, and there's a bug fix that states here that the targeting system is a lot better now with the Foxfire. So I believe it's better if Foxfire auto focuses on this champion that hits a charm. So it's gonna be a lot better. But here's the thing: charms damage amplification is removed, and they just increase the base damage a bit and increase the AP ratio by 15.15. Now I don't know. I believe the AB, the only thing that keeps Ari viable right now was the charms AD AP AP amplification on her magic skills, but removing the amplification, though, but please expect that nobody will be able to will be playing her. It depends. So Spirit Rush, it will be more forgiving now. You can actually move better on terrain, so probably more escapes on Spirit Rush, so that we can see more highlights on that on this if it's going to play competitively. Akali will get a huge nerf. Basically, if you do the combo with the Crescent Slash to detonate the marks, it will not detonate the marks any longer, and the Shadow Dance is reduced by 100 pixels, or 100 pixels of range, so it's a lot shorter, so it's gonna be harder to jump on people. Annie, one of the champions that depends on the Deathfire Grass, is now having a slight buff, slightly, because her ultimate will be stronger. Basically, once you cast Tibbers, Tibbers will gain a 300 movement speed bonus, allowing Tibbers to actually hit targets. And if you cast Molten Shield, slightly nerfed Molten Shield, Tibbers will also gain that. Aside from the AP ratio, that if you have a lot of AP, Tibbers is going to be a very strong tanking bear that hugs people. Azir, of course, the carry of Shurima, will be having just a tooltip update. Cassiopeia gets a slight a slight, what you might say, this is going to be a slight nerf. Basically, the mana cost of the Noxious Blasting the Twin Fangs is going to be a lot more expensive, but that's okay because Cassiopeia is, if you play top lane Cassiopeia, you need a lot of mana, so because you're gonna go for Rod of Ages anyway, so it's fine. And basically, if once you do your combo, the target is already dead. It doesn't matter. Fizz, on the other hand, is gonna be because Fizz is a champion that everybody hates because of the playful trickster and the urchin strike. So right now, urchin strike will be slightly nerfed, so you can actually dodge urchin strike as long as you can actually dodge it. So before you can actually dodge, once you get in range, you get queued. That's it. It's like you get queued, and it's like targeting is now you can actually you'll be able to dodge it. Like let's say a Lucian light slinger. Oh no, it's like the the Lucian's Q ability. You will be able to dodge the skill now. I think that's how the mechanic will work. As long as you're out of range of the target of the sea urchin strike, as long as the fish doesn't actually hit you, you will not get hit. So that's a good fix because most of the people that actually tries to dodge the sea urchin strike after the animation still gets hit. So that's a good fix. All right, so Sea Stone Trident gets an on-hit damage. Basically, after you do your combo, it will do missing the health damage as well as damage over time, which is they actually put it in reverse. So once you hit the target, it's actually doing the missing health damage, but the overall damage, the overall tick damage will be a lot bigger because it's I think it's a lot more convincing than before because once you actually bleed out, it's a lot more painful. But right now, it's actually the initial hit is a lot stronger than the actual taking damage. That's how I believe. So, Chum the Waters, basically, there's going to be a this is going to be the charm ability that is amplified onto Fizz. Now, only Fizz can actually deal more damage on the target that has Chum the Waters as on them. So you will see a mark on them, and also once you do all your complete combo, bam, your target is dead. So that's maybe because some actual Fizz users use the DFG, but that's all right. Nothing more to add. And right now, let's go. Kha'Zix gets a tooltip update. So leap and evolve wings. It's not really accurate, so they're actually fixing the values. And Nidalee, you can now hunt neutral monsters, so they can actually get hit. So I believe the attacks damage. You can actually now. I think this is going to be the rise of the AP jungle Nidalee. I hope Rek'Sai gets another nerf, and this is going to be hurting his late game. But don't you worry, Rek'Sai is still a very viable champion because one, he doesn't actually need to do all that damage. He just needs to knock up a lot of people, use his radar abilities, and do more plays because his E ability is still quite powerful, deals true damage, and nothing can actually block true damage. That I can guarantee. There's also okay. So let's talk about Sejuani. Another fix. The Fail of the Northern Winds is dealing a lot of damage to structures, so they fixed that. And Syndra, Skylar the Weak, stun collision has been widened slightly to feel less clunky. So yeah, they slightly increased the width, so we might see more competitive Syndras now. Zed, um, and finally, the last champion that we'll be talking about to receive balance. Of all the champion that will receive balance is Zed. Zed will get a slight nerf on his base attack speed and attack speed growth stat. So less solo pushing, split push on Zed, but still a strong champion nonetheless. You cannot the passive is still powerful. All the combos by Zed is still very strong, and it's really hard to counter the champion if you're not familiar or you faced the champion before, but you still can't deal with it. So it's still a very viable champion to pick. You don't have to worry about that. Mass Structure Rebalance Part 6. Dr. Mundo, Aurelia, Jarvan, Nunu, Swain, Vayne, and Yorick. Jungle items that will have a slight nerf as well. This is going to be weird. Okay, let's talk about that. Jungle items will be 700 gold more expensive, meaning to say, in order for you to get um, the second tier is 100 more expensive, but the third tier is 100 gold cheaper. So it's the same price until you reach the 100 gold. However, you can most of the time you're not gonna be able to get your 450 gold until you actually clear three three camps. So it's gonna be harder, but it's going to be okay. So if you're playing a lot of champions that can actually clear waves clearly easily, you're fine. But if you're playing like a Kha'Zix, any champion that doesn't have a sustain, you're you're in a ton of and a heap of you're in let's say a heap of trouble. So let's start right now. We're talking about items, so let's begin again. As Aether Wisp is cheaper. Black Fire Torch, Dark. The DFG's brother is also going to heaven, item heaven with iron, with the um, Leviathan and Heart of Gold wherever they are. Madred's Claw. I hope we might see you again in the future. Iron Elixir of Iron is more. Um, let's say if you have tenacity, it's going to give you less tenacity if you have already a tenacity item. So if you have that tenacity, that imagine how much tenacity you can get. So you'll be Rocky Balboa on the streets. Giant's Belt will now be built from a ruby. Ruby set crystal. Hex Tech Gunblade is buffed to replace to compensate on the missing DFG. So we might see this more on a Katarina, an Akali, mostly Akali, and Ajax. So we just saw Ajax that has Hextech Gunblade, played by Calistro with Team 8. So Hextech Gunblade is one of my favorite items, so to speak. Rod of Ages will have a number showing how much stack it has. Stealth Ward, basically the Stealth Ward needs this. There's a bug that actually when you put a ward, it lasts too long and you can actually ward and then it will not disappear. So, and the enemies will be able to clear it. So they're able to fix it. So just to find a few words right now, is the assassins gone? I don't think so. The assassins will be more powerful because they won't be depending too much on DFG. There is a lot of mages that a lot of assassins that doesn't need DFG that are still powerful. Like let's say who are the assassins that are AP? Like Kassadin, that's one assassin that is AP that is still very powerful. Ari is still a good champion. LeBlanc is still a powerful AP carry that still do tons of damage even without the DFG. So you just need to players just need to adjust, stay as calm as you can get, and if your champion gets hit like Ari, don't be just try another champion that you can actually play. You might discover that you're actually good with Azir. Who knows? But keep in mind, League of Legends is a very good game that keeps changing, keeps evolving, and it helps us grow and understand the term that change happens a lot. And if we accept change, we will become a very strong player. So Okay, so that's about it. This is the end of the video. So if you like the video, please hit the like button, and also don't hesitate to leave a comment right now. Keep in mind, I will be looking at the comments, please, and to help this channel grow. Also, week 2 of Summoner Wars, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to congratulate all of the teams that actually won. For those teams that haven't won yet, it's still too early to give up, guys. You can actually keep working on it. For the teams that actually lost a game, revenge time. For all those teams that are actually winning 2-0 for some people, for some team, keep it up because we'll be counting on you to we'll be looking forward for more plays, and please watch out. I'll be making a highlights of the top 10 plays for week 1, and also I'll be making a lot of things. So this is Unsane21 signing off, and I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless you guys. Summoner's Code signing out.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.